Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a highly requested video by everyone on Instagram when I asked a question on my story, and it was, how did Dollys start? So before I get into it, I'm just gonna let you know it didn't start off as Dollys. We actually had another business called Ice Queens, and yeah, it started from Ice Queens, and Dollys wouldn't be here without Ice Queens. It all started when we went on holiday to Thailand. We've been going for like a few years, and me and my mum, we went out for a walk one day and we saw like this ice cream stand, and they did it was like a cold ice plate. I think I had an M&M one, so they put the M&Ms on, crushed all the M&Ms up, poured the ice cream mix on, and made it in, scraped it up, made it into an ice cream. Basically mesmerised by the ice cream rolls, and I was just like, oh my god, mum, I love them, like how good is this? And anyway, we went home and didn't think any more about it until we went again the following year and we saw them again, and my mum was really fed up with, she was like, I want to do something myself, I want us to do something. And I was like, yeah. So I just left school and I was in college. I just did it because it was something to do. I honestly didn't have any idea what I wanted to do in my life. I was like, why not? We'll do it. So I dropped out of college and we decided to open up an ice cream business doing the ice cream rolls, because we loved the ice cream rolls. We were like, we need to do something that other people don't do. It's got to be something original. And obviously we hadn't seen it done in England before. In fact, there was someone that did it down south. There's Pan and Ice. So we looked into Pan and Ice and we did some research on them, and basically we started up Ice Queens. I drew our logo out. It was like this little ice cream woman. Basically it's like an ice cream roll, but it was like a lady, so I made it look like a face, and she had two little spatulas in her hands. And then obviously I gave that to the graphic designer and he turned it into an actual logo for me. We ordered the ice pans from China and they came, and then it was real. We were like, right, we're actually doing it. So we got like a gazebo tent. We started practicing. We had no idea what we was doing. We just started it and we were like, right, we'll just figure it out. We started off by making, obviously we didn't know how to make the ice cream mix. We had no idea how it would work, and so my mum were trying to find the right recipe to do the ice cream bowls, and none of them would roll on the ice pans because the ice pans were so difficult. We didn't anticipate how hard the ice cream rolls are actually going to be. But once we mastered it, we started selling in Barnsley Town Centre, and that was his first ever pitch. We'd always worked in, mum and dad had always worked in Barnsley, and obviously I grew up with them at work and stuff on days off. We went to Barnsley, and people seemed to really love it, and obviously we loved it. But it was such hard work, so we used to just be doing the ice cream rolls all day. But we were like, right, so we don't just want to be in Barnsley, we want to go to other places. So we started looking at different events and festivals and stuff all over the UK. So we did Leeds Food and Drink Festival, loads of different places. I can't even remember what they were, but we went to all summer. That's what we were doing. Every single weekend we was at somewhere else, and we'd drive and we'd pitch up his gazebo with the ice cream rolls, and we'd make the ice cream rolls, and we loved it. We honestly loved it. But then when summer came to an end, obviously all the events and festivals weren't going ahead anymore. We were like, right, so what we're going to do now? We need a source of income. My dad was like, well, there's a shop that needs renting in Barnsley in the arcade, and we were like, right, okay, we'll do that. We'll open a shop, we'll turn it into a dessert shop. We started off by researching lots of different ice cream places nearby. There's some really good ones in Sheffield, like Razam's, I think that's how you pronounce it, and obviously Sunday's Gelato. So we looked at those. We were like, right, this is the idea. This is what we want to go into. So we did it all out. It was completely our logo was pink and blue, and so we did everything pink and blue. It was all mirrored at the back, like a really nice ice cream parlour. And obviously, because we're moving into a shop, we were like, right, we're going to start doing other stuff as well. We're not just going to do ice cream rolls, we're going to do crepes, waffles, scooped ice cream, hot chocolate, sundaes, brownies, milkshakes, you name it, we wanted to do it. We got everything, we hired staff, and we made it into reality. We opened our doors, and first of all, because we were so inexperienced in anything to do with, we didn't even know what we were getting ourselves into. Like, oh my god, the demand was so high for ice creams, it was ridiculous, and we messed up so much, like, just because we've never really done anything like that before. And a lot of people were unhappy because obviously we weren't 100%, and I think we did lose a few customers. We lost and gained staff over the years, but we were there for 2 years. We carried on, and towards the end, my mum was just like kind of at breaking point with ice creams. It was just so much hard work. Like, the shop was huge, the overheads were too high, everything about ice creams, it was just awful. It was just so hard. We tried everything to make it work. We started doing Just Eat, and this is again brings me back to the deliveries. We started Just Eat at ice creams, and the reason why we don't do deliveries with Dollies is because we had such a bad experience with ice creams, and honestly, I don't even want to put myself through that again. We were struggling to get customers into ice creams after the hype had fizzled out a little bit, and it was like a year and a half in to ice creams, and we weren't getting anyone in the day. We were busy on Saturdays and stuff like that, and after school, but the overheads were just too high, and obviously we were paying staff, we were paying rent, electric. So we were like, right, so what we're going to do? And we did Just Eat. We started off okay, but we honestly, like, we didn't know what we were letting ourselves in for. Originally, we did Just Eat, and the orders came, the orders were flowing, like, but it was just so stressful. We had problems with the delivery drivers just weren't coming in, turning up on time or doing stuff on time. Things were getting there late. We do waffles, crepes, and cookie dough and stuff, and then ice cream. You've got to try and keep stuff hot and then try and keep stuff cold, so putting that in the same box was just so difficult. So we had a lot of problems with delivery drivers, just with keeping stuff hot and cold, just making people happy, and it wasn't the presentation that we wanted. And obviously, because you'll know what I mean, but like, do you know when you get it in a takeaway, when you get something delivered to your house, a dessert, if you've ever had a delivery dessert, you'll know it's just not quite the same. It's just not. Like a waffle, when it's been freshly made and then it comes straight on your plate and it's presented all nicely on a nice plate, compared to in a box that's been driven to like another like 3 houses before yours, it just doesn't. And we didn't want people to be disappointed. We wanted everything to be really, really good, and we wanted everything to be amazing. So it were kind of like degrading as product, like, by delivering it, because it just wasn't in the state that it needs to be at. Like, it just wasn't right. So we stopped doing that, and obviously, like, we were struggling financially with ice queens, but we had a lease on the shop, and we couldn't leave yet. Like, we signed a lease for 5 years, so unless we got someone to take over our lease, there was no way we could get out of that. And it was really difficult because obviously mum was so like upset with everything. Like, we couldn't afford to stay there, but we were basically just working to just to keep his head above water. That was it. But thank the heavens, we managed to get someone to take over the lease, and that's it. We were going to quit. We were like, right, this is it. It doesn't work for us. We're not going to do it anymore. I'm fed up. I'm not doing it. I just can't. I can't. And me and mum were like, after we'd had a bit of time off, we kind of thought about it, and we were like, no, we're not giving up. We haven't put all that effort in. We have not tried that hard and learned so much and come as far as we have just to give up now. And obviously all the market is being refurbished at the minute, so we're building something called the Market Kitchen. And we were like, oh, what's that? And they were like, right, so basically it's this food court where we're going to have lots of different vendors from different styles and genres of food, and we want you to be a part of it, because they knew us from ice creams, and we're like, oh, we really don't want to do an ice creams, like. And so we were like, right, well, what can we do? We'll rebrand as Dollies, like, we'll rebrand. We just got Dolly the dog and we're like, what should we call it? We need to rebrand as something else. And we were like, we'll just call it Dollys Desserts. It's got a ring to it, like, we'll call it Dollies. We've rebranded and we tried again. A smaller unit, there was less overheads, less staff working, and less stress, really, just less stress. So we're like, right, we'll go into here, and it was a year. You've got a year to decide whether you liked it or not, and you could get out if you didn't want it, if it wasn't for you. So like, right, we'll give it a year, we'll try, we'll see. And honestly, the best thing we ever did. We make his own gelato now, which is like so good. And so obviously the ice cream's so much nicer than it was at the beginning of ice creams where we used to buy it in. And yeah, that's basically how it happened. We've been at Dollys for, I want to say 15 months. So we've just gone over the year's contract, and obviously we're here to stay. And yeah, that's everything, and that's how Dolly started. It's not something we just did like that, and it was we definitely learned a lot along the way on how we even got it to where it is now. Because if we was them same inexperienced people that started off just under 4 years ago, Dolly's wouldn't be the same as it is now. So I'm so glad that everything happened. As much as like it was horrible, but everything happened for a reason, and we are honestly doing so well. And I'm starting to do postals, and there's lots of stuff I want to do, and everyone seems to love it on TikTok. So thank you so much for everyone's support. And yeah, I hope you've learned a bit about Dollies and how we run and how we work, and that it's not this massive franchise. There was a lot of struggle, and we're not earning we're not on mega bucks like everyone thinks we are. We've worked really hard for it. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and obviously follow Dollies on Instagram and TikTok, but I'm sure you already have. I just know you have. So yeah, bye.